My cherished viewers, I welcome you all to Sir Ben English tutorial on morphemes. Morphemes. You may have heard about morphemes, or probably you know nothing about morphemes. But should that be a case? Well, I don't think so, because by the end of this lesson, we will all be enlightened on morphemes. Let's delve into it. Today, our main aim for the tutorial is the introduction to morphemes, the types of morphemes, and then the applications of morphemes. The introduction to morphemes. The morpheme is the first rank according to the constituent of relationship, and the last rank according to the consist of relationship in the rank scale. Now somebody may ask, what is a rank scale? Well, that does not fall into our tutorial for today, but I would like to throw a little light on them. When we say a rank scale, it is just the grammatical arrangement of units according to size. So arranging the units in terms of their size, how bigger the unit is, that's what we call the rank scale. And then we have two types of arrangements. We have the top-down view and then the bottom-up view. We will make a tutorial about that, since it does not fall in our main aim of today's tutorial. Let's go into the definition of morphemes. A morpheme is the smallest meaningful grammatical unit in a language. It consists of linguistic elements that cannot be broken into further units, because it is the last rank or the last unit in the rank, so it cannot be divided furthermore. Now, you may ask, how may I know a morpheme? Well, I will urge you to exercise a little bit patience as we delve deep into morphemes. Over here, I have cited 3 criteria we can use in identifying a morpheme. 1. It is a word or part of a word that has meaning. Secondly, it cannot be divided into smaller meaningful parts without meaningless remainder. That is the second point, or the second criteria we used in identifying a morpheme. Now the last criteria used in identifying. It recurs in different word environments with a relatively stable meaning. Now, I have cited a few examples. In English, the word stop cannot be broken into further units, so we term it as a morpheme. In the same way, the following and the listed morphemes or words or units can be classified as a morpheme. Those are cat, it, work, if, and, to, table, etc. You can go on and go on and go on and go on. Name them. There are numerous morphemes. Let's proceed. Now, classifications of morphemes. We can classify morphemes in 6 ways. These are: we have the free morphemes, we have the bound morphemes, we have the full and empty morphemes. Further, we have the preface and the suffix. We have the noun morpheme, and then to end with it, the base or the root morphemes. Basically, there are 2 types of morphemes, namely the free morphemes and then the bound morphemes. Under the free morphemes, we have 2 subdivisions: the lexical and the grammatical, or the functional. Under the grammatical or the functional, we have the pronouns, the articles, the conjunctions, and then the prepositions. When we move to the bound morphemes, we have the inflectional morphemes and then derivational morphemes. Under the derivational morphemes, we have class maintaining morphemes. Now, let's study the free morphemes. It's a kind of morphemes which makes sense on its own. On other words, we can say they are dependent morphemes. Now, types of free morphemes. Under the free morphemes, we have the lexical morphemes and then the functional or the grammatical morphemes. Examples: eat, teach, date, and walk, etc. Let's go on. We move to the bound morphemes. They are kind of morphemes that cannot make sense on its own. On the other hand, they are independent on their own. Under the bound morphemes, we have types of morphemes. We have inflectional morphemes and then the derivational morphemes. And under this, we have examples. We have dancer, works, boxes, etc. Now, we are to identify the number of morphemes in the following given words. In English, the word stop, S-T-O-P-P-E-D, stopped, is composed of two morphemes, stopped plus ed. In the same vein, the word walked, W-A-L-K-E-D, is composed of two morphemes, that is, walk plus the past tense maker ed. Similarly, we can say that went has two morphemes. Those are go plus the past tense maker. Yes, so we are talking about the went, and we are saying went has two morphemes, that is the go plus the ed, which is the past tense maker. Similarly, we have, or we can say that sang has two morphemes, sing plus the past tense maker. From the above discussion, we can confidently say that verbs in two morphemes. Now, our last agenda for the tutorial: application of morphemes. Morphemes are important for phonetics in both reading and spelling, as well as in vocabulary and comprehension. So morphemes are very, very important when it comes to phonetics, because it is based on the morphemes that we derive all other units. Now, let's try our hands on these try questions. Example 1. Explain the term morpheme in your own words. Example 2. State some examples of morphemes that you know. 3. Try and identify the number of morphemes in the above stated example. Memorize the types of morphemes. And then the 5th example, per your understanding, figure the importance of morphemes. Well, you can leave your answers to the questions in the comment section, so that in our next tutorial we will see to address your issues. If you have any misunderstanding, or if you have any suggestions, they are all welcome in the comment section. Please like, share, and write comments about it. We will see to address them in our next tutorial. Thank you for watching. Boogie.